Hello and welcome to day 265 of Dungeon 23, the series where we make a room of a mega dungeon every day for a year. We only have 100 more rooms to go, and I'm really feeling it. This has been a very exhausting 265 days, and I'm probably never going to do a daily series ever again because of it. But once it's done, it'll feel like a massive accomplishment. At least I hope it does. If I complete this and feel nothing, then I'm going to be extremely disappointed, and I may get violent. Anyway, we have a small room, and inside we have these things called Nothics. They are these weird goblinoid aberration people with these like big eyes. They have keen senses, or rather keen sight, which allows them to have advantage on perception, investigation check, that kind of stuff. And they also have an ability called Weird Insight, and it lets them make a insight check, and they're able to learn a weird fact about a person without there being a real connection. Like, an adventurer shows up and it makes that check. It knows that adventurer has kids, or that adventurer like is afraid of horses, or that adventurer once owned a boat, or something like that. Something weird and not always super useful, but just like a weird random piece of information without any real actual origin for that information, because they're aberrations. They're all weird psychic monsters. They make 2 claw attacks, which each one's only like a d6 plus some change, so it's not super deadly at that point. At most, it's like 18 damage on average without a crit if both hit. But they do have a basically like an I-beam attack where a creature has to make a DC 12 con save, or take like, it's like either 2d6 or 3d6 or maybe like 2d10. It's some necrotic damage. It's not a lot of damage. These guys aren't really difficult at this level the party's at, which is level 9, but they're wacky little minions, and these probably are going to be really good minions for just wizards in general. They'd be really good for the party to summon in like a proper campaign, because that little insight ability could be super useful for interrogations and such. They're also moderately good in combat, but I'm not really aware of any spells that just straight up conjures aberrations. There's ones that conjure beasts that are technically fey. There's one that conjures fey. There's ones that conjure demons and devils separately. And then there's there's the celestial one. But then there's like the weird spirit spells, which I don't really like because it's just a generic stat block. I want to be able to conjure not just like a beholder spirit, whatever that is. I want to conjure a beholder. I want to conjure like a star spawn or whatever they're called. I want to summon Nothics and Yogi and Chuls and stuff like that, you know? I'm going to have to look into the monster manual a bit more and see what the CR of some things are and try to categorize them a bit and break them down into a good way of conjuring them with spells, just because I think that'd be really fun to have a custom spell that lets you aberrations, which I did let my one player do, but he mainly just used his aberrant spirit spell, which did Beholderkin, and it's burned in my memory because the token he used for it was a giant floating head of like Bilbo from the Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings. So I just burned in my memory, and that's how I always assume that is. But yeah. Anyway, I forget where my point is here. The thing is, there's these 2 little guys, and they're gonna attack the party because they're evil, chaotic, aberration monsters. If you want to see more wacky weirdness, then subscribe, like, comment, notifications, share, upvote, all that crap for recommendations and algorithm stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching and or listening. I apologize for the poor quality. It's not going to get any better.